is KJ and Lyons on WEEI.
To me, what's interesting is this all, in a vacuum, we're looking at, okay, these are the things that have been done since Monday that lead the Patriots to be in this position with Calvin Ridley, but it's not. DeAndre Hopkins was there for the friggin' taking last year. That was a Bill Belichick-driven decision because of a lack of practice time spent by DeAndre Hopkins, he perceived. They gave Devontae Parker a friggin' raise because he had his nose out of joint about DeAndre Hopkins. The rest of the team ownership wanted DeAndre Hopkins last year. Bill said no go. Now you look at this and you have this problem that looks like they had to pay $22 million for this guy, and Hopkins would have still been under contract. It all tracks back to, and they'll be digging out of, my point is, the mistakes made going back to friggin' N'Keal Harry, if you want to go back, is what they're doing now.
Oh, boy. Final hour of KJ and Lyons, WEEI. That's Tom E. Curran on NBC Sports Boston, lamenting poetic about how different cats got out of the way. And, John, I always tell people when they bring up DeAndre Hopkins, you thought I was joking, you thought I was being smug or sly. Go back and read that 2020 Sports Illustrated article where the paragraphs about Bill O'Brien allegedly asking about Hopkins' baby mamas. And that's why, he's not going to come play. He'll make the visit. It's all to make grandma happy about a forgiveness technique. He was never going to play here. He wasn't. If that's happening and compare you to Aaron Hernandez, no, he wasn't coming to play with Bill O'Brien on the staff.
If my math is right, they offered DeAndre Hopkins and Jacoby Myers combined
Did I say anything about math?
Money than
I said
Calvin
the guy
Ridley.
made the articles about these personal statements.
I know what it's about. I read the article.
Bill, you think, what's the difference between $10 million and $11 million for a guy who's probably got $40 million?
If they
what's
offered
$1 million?
DeAndre Hopkins more money than the Titans did, and then he chose not to come here, okay, but they didn't even go there, so we don't really know. I'm not discounting what you're saying, but they didn't even make the real attempt, which is on them. They made a decision.
Maybe DeAndre Hopkins told him, don't even make another attempt. Hey,
well, then
we're
they
good.
shouldn't have. If that was the case, they wouldn't have made an offer in the first place.
You know what it's called? It's called getting played.
They didn't.
Bill O'Brien got played in that.
They didn't make enough of an effort to get him.
No, it was all about playing Bill O'Brien.
But they didn't make enough of an effort. They didn't offer him enough money. Like I said before, it's winning and money is generally what attracts free agents.
They could have offered him all the money.
But if they did that and he chose not to come here, then we would know. We don't really know because they didn't make enough effort. And that's been with their receiving core now, going back, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
When was the last time they drafted N'Keal Harry in the first round? I know it's
the coach in my room, the one who said that I reminded him of Aaron Hernandez and asked about my baby mamas and my friends, and I'm going to go back and play for that guy? No. I don't care how much money it is.
When was the last time they made a real effort to sign or go after a wide receiver? It was N'Keal Harry was a first-round pick in 2019.
Well, you don't know because we don't know who said no.
Since then,
right? That's the other part.
If it was a major effort, we know Calvin Ridley said no. We know DeAndre Hopkins said no. They haven't made it. That's a position I feel like far too often, goes obviously for 15 years. They've ignored that or neglected it far too often. And it was one thing, not just when you had Tom Brady, but when you had Rob Gronkowski too. You had the best tight end in the NFL the teams had to game plan for. But when that guy's gone, and your tight end's Hunter Henry, who's a good player, but he's not one of the best tight ends ever in Rob Gronkowski, then you have to invest more in the receiver position. So, look, I think Calvin Ridley got wildly overpaid by Tennessee. I'm glad the Patriots are at least in it, but the Patriots have to go into the draft having either left tackle or receiver figured out. And there's some options to get a really good receiver now, but it's going to have to be via trade. And same thing, I think, with a left tackle now that Jonah Williams and Tyron Smith are off the market.
Or resetting the culture, which is happening, and that's going to take process. So go to Bob in Londonderry. Bob, thanks for calling KJ and Lyons. You're on WEEI.
Hey, guys. I enjoy listeing to you.
Thank you. Tell all your friends and all your bosses, corporate guys, too. Yeah.
I do that, but, you know me. I call you guys all the time. I'm the guy with the negative attitude. But can I ask you, this guy we keep talking about, Hunter Henry, like he's this and that. Maybe I watched the wrong games or whatever, but last year, more than once, a very easy pass, he needed to catch it in order for the Pats to attempt to do better. He dropped the ball. My point being is the Pats are in such bad shape on every level. Do people understand this is what you see is what you get, and it's not really going to change? Or do people really think, oh, this is going to change? And look where we are. All new staff, new coach. For what we've done to Mr. Belichick, I never even said I liked him. For throwing him under the bus, wait till you see what's coming, because this is going to go from much bad to worse. And that's even if we get lucky, in my opinion.
Thank you for the call. Continue to tell all your corporate friends about KJ Lyons.
And you want a fun exercise to do, KJ, based off Bob's call?
Kegel? Oh, no.
Well,